Hey Pisces, welcome to High Priestess Healing Tarot, where you are the High Priestess, baby. Let's see what messages Spirit has for the High Priestess Collective. Whoa, we're taking it. Wow, the Hierophant. This deck is spooky. This Hierophant has three faces. One is facing forward, and then the other two, kind of like the crescent moons you see in the High Priestess card, or like the symbolism of the full moon in the center and then the crescent moons on either side. This represents the energy of your spiritual prowess, being able to see things in all directions. If you take it one step further, it's the energy of being able to see or sense all timelines at once. So it's giving yourself, it's really you having a wider view of what is present in the now. And that energy allows you to, I'm going to say predict, but it's like really sense what is coming or what will become available. And this is like a little bit different than the High Priestess sensing, because that High Priestess energy and Hierophant, they're very similar, right? They're counterparts. But with the High Priestess, there's a lot of emotion tied into the intuition. Not that she is emotional, but she is highly sensitive to being able to detect emotion and patterns of emotion, and therefore patterns of predictable behavior. This Hierophant card feels less emotional, more grounded in the present moment, and connected to external turns of events. This feels multiple, like not like one. This feels like multiple things, like multiple things turn, multiple things present themselves and like start to shift here. And the Hierophant, technically the Hierophant is the spiritual teacher, just like the HP, but the Hierophant does it in front of everyone. They're not, they don't have to teach at night to avoid persecution. This person is not at risk. So there's something there about you not being at risk, perhaps because you are able to, for whatever reason, move emotion aside or remove emotion from circumstances surrounding you, and that's giving you higher levels of clarity in terms of timelines, spiritual energy, and really this is like spiritual lesson. This Hierophant card, as it pertains to you, is like when you yourself have, okay, the crows are going crazy outside, so I think this is it. Wow. You yourself have already mastered a series of spiritual lessons that have allowed you to integrate universal law. For example, would be like you tried manifesting, you manifested a thing, and now you believe in the law of attraction. It's like you practiced the law of attraction to manifest, it happened, and now you are integrated and embodied in the belief of the law of attraction. You understand the principles of that universal law. That's this energy. It doesn't have to be manifestation, but it's pretty relatable law that we can relate to. But this Hierophant has mastered this looks like several universal laws. And now that it's mastered, you are able to live in it. Higher level of commitment, Hierophant, for my Tarot Academy students, past, present, future. The commitment of the Hierophant doesn't always have to be marriage, union. The higher level commitment can and more often than not is actually higher levels of commitment to the embodiment of spiritual law. That's actually where the highest level of commitment is am I going to continue living within the laws of the universe that I've learned and have evidence that they are true? Will I continue living in them, or will I revert to something else? Old patterns, self-sabotage. Oh, and there's a snake running up this staff too. Oh, Pisces, this is big masterful energy. This is big masterful energy of some esoteric Universal laws, and because you are embodying it, this means that you shed skin already. And maybe it was a little painful, but the shedding of the skin is allowing you to be super grounded in this. I think I may have said something about staffs yesterday, unless that was in a personal reading. Staffs are used in tarot to assist the journeyer. You see it in the Hermit card. You see it in a lot of the Wands cards. The staff itself is the Ace of Wands. So it is the source of spiritual inspiration, motivation, the clarity of like, hey, source is here. It's undeniable. And I also have it in my hands, right? Nope. Into the mic. What do you got, babe? Whenever Neptune's on the table, I'm like, oh, she's got something to say. The staff being this like assistance on your journey really symbolizes that you've allowed the Ace of Wands, or you allowed some sort of surge of source energy, some sort of surge of your spiritual prowess to assist you on the journey, but specifically your journey regarding shedding skin and becoming this new version of the snake. This is the year of the snake, and that's why this is prevalent. That's why this is important. The first half of the year, astrologically, really represented a lot of things that we were shedding. So if you went through any sort of changes, releases, discontinuations, moves, breakups, firing, quitting, any situation where it's like a 10, the end to a cycle, consider yourself right on time astrologically. That first half of the year astrologically represents that first layer of skin shedding. The second half of the year technically is supposed to be us becoming acclimated to this new skin. So this Hierophant energy, I'm just going to speak English. Hold on. Ready? You've seen it fucking enough. Like, you've seen it fucking enough. You know what's true. You know what's real. If you are watching me, you have to have at least experienced one piece of evidence of some law of the universe that had you go, you know what? There is something here. You know? This card and this energy, the staff, the snake, seeing all directions with you, there's some sort of detachment or removal of emotion momentarily for clarity so that you can commit higher. This is basically saying like, you know what to do and you really don't need anyone to tell you, because the reality is most people around you probably can't understand what I just said about this one fucking card, you know? And that's okay. No harm, no foul, no shade. This is like, hey, come on. You're not doing anything wrong, but this is like, you know who you are, like, you know what you've seen and you know what you know. Commit to it, because you have more vision than you've ever had before. And this new skin is going to feel like a better commitment for you than the old skin did. But there might be, let's see, but there might be some like grieving still happening from the old skin. Smash that love button. You are the Hierophant baby. Let's do this. Seeing skin next. Show me the seeing. Seeing skin next. Show me the seeing. The seeing is Knight of Wands. So there's like direction forward. Direction forward. You're seeing more opportunities for you to take action. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 feet, babe. You got 4 feet. 4 feet is great for 2 different pathways. So if you are considering moving down 2 different pathways in 2 different areas of your life right now, this is saying like you have enough equipment to do that. And if you look, actually, he's got the Ace of Wands, the staff with a yellow flower on top. Yellow is enlightenment. It's also connection to divinity. And then in his left hand, he has the red and white rose, both representing, the red rose represents birth. The white rose represents purity after death. So there is already confirmation of this snake skin shedding, and there's 2 pathways that it looks like you're being called down. So this would be like when you're trying to improve like 2 things in your life at once, maybe like a new home and a new job, very simple example, or connecting with your spiritual energy so in a way that's very clear for you, because it's fire. Fire is like your spiritual energy that tells you when to go and where to go. It's when you get those downloads of like, I know I'm supposed to leave this thing and I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I know that's what I'm supposed to do. It's fire energy. Could also be Ace of Swords, but just for this reading, the fire is like, it's the inspiration from source telling you to go. And the Knight of Wands is a go, go, go energy. The other thing is we have two statues behind you. Something has been immortalized around your previous versions of selves. And I'd say self, but selves too. Something has been immortalized. You are allowed to pay homage and honor the versions of you who got you here. I just said this to an HP yesterday on a reading. You, not only are you allowed to, it would benefit the past versions of you who can hear you. They can hear you, Pisces. Okay, I'm not your therapist. I have one of my own. One thing we practice is she reminds me when present day Jessica does something that former versions of Jessica or little child Jessica or teenage Jessica really would benefit from hearing. And I do so in a meditative prayer-like state, and it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It can be literally 30 seconds to send the message. It's like sending a text, bink, real quick. But like, there's something very beneficial about present day you, High Priestess, communicating with the past versions of you who would benefit from hearing what's available to you now, what you've accomplished now, the direction you're moving in now, the things you've said goodbye to now, your spiritual expansion now, especially if you were a spiritually gifted child and it was muted for whatever reason, dogma, parenting, dysfunction in the home, fear, abandonment, etc., right? There's something to be immortalized. There's something to be like recognized. These versions of you, even if they were not healed. I mean, like, I'm still not healed. We're all always healing. But like, there's versions of you that need to hear where you're going and what has been accomplished or committed to, because that will add to their healing. And I am a firm believer that if you pray and speak to the past versions of you, they do hear it. And what we consider claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance, sometimes it is, but the source might not always be your higher self. The source might actually be your future self, which to me, if we're going to go a little deeper, your future self is a version of your higher self, because assuming your future self has been listening to your higher self, it's essentially like the version of you that's already there. So what if your higher self is just the version of you that's ahead in the linear time game? Smash love button if you know what I'm talking about. Baby. Okay. Listen, it's so windy here, so if these cards blow away, thank you, Janice, for my High Priestess anchor. These cards blow away, just know that's what's going on. I think this one will stick under. No. Okay. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this combo, but there's something in your energy that there is at least one version of you that would break down in tears of gratitude and relief to know that this is where you end up. So if there is a version of you that would desperately love to hear this news back then, give it to them. Give it to you, you know? Okay, show me the seeing of pathways. It looks like two pathways simultaneously. One, wow, judgment. Wow. God, this is major death and rebirth energy. Okay. She ripped the roots out. She ripped the roots out. What did you rip the roots out from? And she's ascending from it. The the skeleton here represents the death that's in the white rose. You ripped the roots out? Should I take another one from this? Yeah, don't be a coward. Okay, Ace of Swords. You rip the roots out. Isn't this artwork crazy? Okay. Moving in these two directions simultaneously because you're actually equipped to. In the imagery, you have physicality, which doesn't exist. I know you're not sitting out here with 4 legs. But because it's a fire card, it's supposed to represent like you're going to move in a way that's as if you have the physical means to move down 2 different pathways at once, but it's really spiritual means, not physical means. You rip the roots out. That was a judgment call. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna use a regular Rider Waite card for that. But you rip the roots out from something after an acceptance of death. And now this Ace of Swords is actually allowing you, it's allowing you to walk forward in a way that leaves you undetectable. What am I saying? These cards bug me. No, like trip me up in a beautiful way, not annoy me, like bug me out. You rip the roots out after a death has been accepted. You're moving forward in a, what did I say? They can't see you, is what I'm saying. They can't see you. The thing is with this Ace of Swords, that's claircognizance. And claircognizance is like the message of, I know I'm supposed to move in this direction, away from something. It looks like you already moved away though. And that's why, because you moved away, you rip the roots out from something, you're able to move in 2 directions simultaneously with the inspiration from the divine. I cannot emphasize this enough. There is no emotion on this table. And that is so different. The wings in the judgment card outstretch the width of the card itself. Those are your wings. So even though you are taking direction in this knowingness, you got you here. There's a clear knowingness. There's also an element of you can't see how wide you are. Like, you can't see how much space you're actually taking up. That came up yesterday too, and that's spiritual energy. But this is like how much space you will be taking up on this new path. This new path is blank canvas. They can't see you. Give me one on the roots. Shout out the roots. If it's not the wind, it's a cat. Okay. The roots. 3 of Pentacles. Something you are building or something you are collaborating on with others or a partnership. You rip the roots out. Why? That was so fast. Huh. 2 of Pentacles. This is like when this is as a Y, 2 of Pentacles is like juggling 2 different sized things while there was fluctuation in what was happening. So if that's people, it's like sometimes the people were manageable and other times they weren't manageable. If these are responsibilities, it's like sometimes it was super challenging, other times it was like quiet, but if that's like the why, it's because the turbulence was there was too much consistent turbulence. So I guess that means like not enough clear consistency of some sort of like homeostasis. The homeostasis was rocky. So you ripped the roots out. There's also an element of lack here, 5 of Pentacles. Show me that. Ooh, Magician. Show me the lack. Please don't blow away. Show me the lack. Whoa. One more. Ace of Cups for lack. Oh. Okay, whatever you pulled the roots out of, it's giving you are or were a tower. It's the same analogy. So if you had to eject yourself from something or stop, it's like when you're doing a home project, a DIY. Okay, you're like putting together a piece of furniture and you realize halfway through, you're like, oh, this whole ass thing is backwards and you got to take everything out. That's happened to me once before. It's like you realize, oh, I put this in backwards, or this has been done backwards. So in order to fix it, we have to like take everything out, because these two cards separately are decent cards. It's like the beginning of structure and building and balance and resource and like the learning how to. But when they come out together, the undertone is lack. So that means like something in the foundation or something in the resources itself or something in the people that are involved was like whacked. It was like off. So you took the roots, you ripped the roots out. This could even be like the pieces were good, but the place was not. The pieces were good, but the place was not. The pieces were good, but the people were not. Put it where it goes. Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords. Ace of Cups to me is like overpouring divination energy. Like divinely, the bird bringing the Eucharist to the cup to me is like the bird is God, the Eucharist is the resource, and you are the cup. So it's like this was brought to you by divinity to experience. But Seven of Swords, I am going to read this in a little bit more of a traditional way. Despite the purity of some aspect of maybe intention or heart space. And this was supposed to happen, is the thing. That was supposed to happen. All of it. Seven of Swords is like, in this case, I think there was a taker, or there was too many takers compared to the ratio of like takers and givers, or like builders and inhabitants. It's like the ratio was off. Some sort of ratio was off in terms of, yeah, this is even giving ratio. Some sort of ratio was off in terms of like, for this to function well, for this for this relationship, for this work team, for this collaboration, for this project, the ratio of like who contributes and who takes was off. So the roots were ripped out. And now you're moving in a way maybe where like the taker can't see you, or the takers can't get to you, because there is like there's a translucence to this, to your energy, but there's also like there's an undetectable energy. You're coming across as a ghost. So if you may have ghosted a situation, or left a situation as like a ghost town. Fool, yeah, to go off on this new journey, you can go your own way. Well, that's a significant increase. Nine of Pentacles. This feels like intention was here, and love was open, and like everything was supposed to happen the way it happened. And that's so shitty and so annoying when you're like, but I was divinely led to be with this person, to work with this team, to grow this thing, to build this way, to launch this business, and then I had to like rip it out before it even got to a thing, got to a place that felt good. All of that looks like it's serving this being like your higher commitment. It's like you had, maybe this was to teach you something about the process, so that as you move forward on this journey, this part of the journey, these two pathways, now you're moving in a way that can, instead of be 3 and 2, it's just straight up 9, which means like fruitful. One more on this. Oh my God, that's 100% it. Whatever had to get ripped up, even if that left a sour taste or a heartbreak or a disappointment, whatever you had to rip the roots out from, that was the right thing to do. And the experience itself was not for nothing. It's like to build some sort of strength, character, pragmatism, resourcefulness, something like that. Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, King of Pentacles. Now there's masterful energy out again. And this is interesting because it's going from being able to see the spiritual energy and pathways in order to move forward in your 3D life sans emotion. To, okay, I'm taking the lessons I've learned from this initial build and then ripping the roots out, having to discontinue this process, accepting the death and rising above it, literally rising above it, moving forward in silence, in secret, in ghost mode. King of Pentacles. That is the masterful builder of 3D energies, resources, entities, structure, financial success, teams, managers, families. Okay. It's like this was not a fuck up. But if you are looking at it like it was a fuck up or something, you are allowed to give yourself permission to be like, that was a learning moment versus a high stakes situation. Even if maybe people on the outside thought that was a high stakes situation. Give yourself a little grace here, Pisces. Show me this King of Pentacles for Pisces. Devil, strings, fear? Well, what is it fear or that structural thing that I was seeing? Is it fear or the structural? That's too much. Come on. You know I can't speak that many. It was like a face-off. I don't know what this is, Pisces. You were supposed to collaborate, team up, work with, date, be with, and then you were also supposed to experience this. The like, this cannot be sustained. This cannot be contained. This is too much. We haven't found a homeostasis. Both of these things were supposed to happen. The ripping out of the roots, it was also supposed to happen. And it was like basically to get you into this justice energy equilibrium. Even if this was like a, Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, it gives betrayal. And I'm just so hesitant to use that word because, like, but that's what that gives. But there is a rise up from it. It's like the only way to rise up and heal from it is to, like, face it. Maybe this was so that you could see a version of you that you've never met before. That's like when the higher self is ahead of the game and is like, come this way, come this way, come this way. And you're like, but you're leading me through a forest that is very scary and I don't want to go through the forest. I just want to take the path. That's what this feels like. Why do I have to go through the forest if you could just show me a path? They wanted you to go through the forest because it's through the forest that you rip the roots out. I don't know what that means for you. But the face-off indicates there's masterful energy over the devil, whether the devil is an external force or an internal circumstance. But even if it was an external source, the external devils we face are usually an extension of an internal devil we're facing. Anything else with the justice? Why do you keep doing this? Ooh, but that was Two of Pentacles. You got some sort of strength from this. Ah! Please don't fly. You got some sort of strength from this. Let me get a crystal. Okay, anything else with justice? Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Now we're building, baby. Now we are building. We got a family out here. King, Queen, baby. We've got a family out here. This is so much better. Whatever this was, I think this just taught some sort of basis around who you are. The reflection of like, who is this girl I see staring right back at me? Christina Aguilera. Shout out Mulan. We love Mulan in this house. I think you needed to see who you are. Maybe that was a thing, like, even like speaking to your past versions of yourself. Do your past versions of yourself know the devil that you just faced? Or knows the devil, like, knows how strong you are that you were able to face the devil, or you are facing the devil and moving forward in a masterful way, despite? Three of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, it's like, sure, yeah, these are great bricks for foundation. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles is like, bricks, I got plenty. Like, that's not even a thing anymore. This is like, where are we taking this in terms of business deals, in terms of house, home? Like, what do we want to decorate the inside with? This is beyond the building now. This is like the living in it, the experiencing joy in it, the creating from it. It's a completely different mode. Okay. Different mode. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. This is how it was supposed to turn. There was some... Okay, so the thing is here, this 3 and 2. This is Typhon, the god Typhon. Whoa, crazy. Hierophant underneath. This is the god Typhon, the god of chaos. But in the Wheel of Fortune, it's descending. So this is giving chaos. This was chaos. So whatever the chaos was that you recognized and then pulled the plug on it, just know that was the... Look, their books are open, right? That was the lesson that they wanted you to master. You closed out the cycle. Beautiful. Now, instead of restarting with 2 and 3, you're restarting at King, Page, Queen. That's like more aligned coworkers, more aligned projects, more aligned clients, more aligned family dynamics or resources that you need in order to create the experience that you are seeking. It makes sense. We have the king and the queen. That's the pair. And then we have this page, which is like another part. 1, 2, 3 faces, 1, 2, 3 pentacles at the court level. This is beautiful. The only court we're not seeing in the pentacles is the knight, because the knight that's on the table is the wands. So it looks like you're actually going to move faster with these 3 pentacles than you would if you were in the Knight of Pentacles mode. Let's do this. I said seeing. Now I already forget the things I wanted to say. What's to come with this page and queen so fast? 4 of Cups, an unexpected offer while you are... This is an evaluation of the resources and tools that you have. And while you're evaluating what is present, something else, Ace of Cups, comes in, which is funny because this was over here. So listen, there's going to be a similarity. If you were led to this collaboration, this person, this situation, this job, and then let's just say there was chaos and we had to pull the plug on it, right? And you were like, but I was divinely led to that. Why did that happen that way? Totally normal. Totally get that. It was for some sort of strength building on a spiritual level, but also for you to apply that spiritual strength in your 3D decision making. We are beyond exploring your spiritual gifts, and we are beyond manifesting money. This reading is for people who are learning, how am I integrating and embodying my spiritual wherewithal in order to make the highest decisions in my 3D so that I can experience the fruits of my spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical labor. With that, you are being led to something again, and it looks like it's going to feel like a very similar calling to the one you had before, where there was chaos and you got burned, and maybe there was a betrayal or there was some sort of pulling the plug, ripping the roots out, which probably was uncomfortable, even though I'm not seeing a lot of emotion, which is so crazy to me that like we're not seeing Pisces emotion on the table. But I think that's how serious this message is. The spirit is like, beyond the emotion, this is what this was, and this is why this happened. And now you're going to get another Ace of Cups, and it's going to feel just like the one you had before you entered this dynamic. And the message is, are you going to allow the fear of what happened last time inhibit you from creating or following the calling? Or are you going to rise above the illusion? And I can't answer that for you. 10 of Wands. And look at all those roots. They're giving you a new bushel, a new bundle. And the dead version of you is with you. This skeleton, the dead version of you is with you. I really feel like we're supposed to communicate with it. That dead version of you has so much insight from this bullshit chaos collaboration, whatever the fuck that was. Please don't blow off the table. Give me one more in this 4 cups. 8 of Wands. Look, this is your higher self being like, come on, come on, come on. I'm pulling you forward. Come on, come on, come on. And you're like, I have wings, but I'm afraid to use them. last time I trusted my wings, I got burned. Or last time I used my wings, my fear of heights kicked on, right? 8 of Swords and the Sun. Oh my God, Pisces, come on. That's so wild. Those are your green wings from the Judgment card. 8 of Swords and the Sun. There's a rip in the timeline what happens here? This has to be the higher self. I swear to God, this has to be your future self ends up doing like that suggestion that I gave of like, hey, have you talked to your past versions yet? Have you let them know where you're at now? Especially the ones that were like writhing in pain, emotional pain, mental agony, anxiety. Have you communicated with them where you are now? But I think because I said that, now I'm like, oh, wait, is the future version of you, your higher self, pulling you in the now forward to this thing? And that's what causes this rip in the fabric of space-time that like eliminates the elimination, it eliminates the inhibition from the mind as a result of this. It feels like a disappointment, or if like you're a recovering perfectionist, you're like, I fucked up, I could have done that right, I could have done that better. Or it's like, could you have though, Pisces? Like, what if it's like that was the best you could do at that time because that was the best you could do at that time? Just because you have a mental image of like how things could go, did you have the emotional equipment? Did you have the physical resources for that to go differently? You know, I feel like there's an energy of like, can you give yourself some grace for whatever this was? Anyway, your higher self, it looks like they're like getting through to you and ripping the fabric of space-time so that you move forward towards the sun, which is, we already know. Look at this beautiful artwork here. Okay, in this sun, she's looking up at her higher self. Your future self is truly trying to drag you in the best way forward. And the sun is like, what is it that you want? The highest version of what you want. That's what's happening now. Where do I put you? That's what's happening now. Kind of want to say the hard part's over. The hard part that was needed in order for this to happen is over. You know what? Whatever you learned back here, it's already like integrated. You're not gonna like F this up. These 3 pentacles, the king, queen, page. There's something here about like, give me what I'm saying. What am I feeling on the elevation of the pentacle? Those pentacles ascended too, from like one end of the spectrum of pentacle to the complete opposite end. That's a 180. That's a 180. Okay, what am I saying? Thanks. 8 of Swords again. If there is fear that you're going to fuck this up, or any kind of anxiety or any kind of like doubt, I think this is saying like, hey, there's something about, is that a canary? No, I don't know. The birds, your guides, your messengers, your higher self, they're all trying to like bring you forward. Could you just, green wings, can you just trust them to bring you forward? The star, 4 of Wands, 7 of Swords. Do you know what this looks like? Whatever the 7 of Swords was. Okay. You ever hear of destiny swapping? This is very, very woo-woo. But like when someone tries to swap destinies with you, it's like they want to, they're like essentially siphoning your energy for themselves, harvesting your energy to like amplify or change their life in some way, even if it's like a subconscious entity situation happening. That didn't happen here, and it looks like the 7 of Swords that you experienced, you have it now. And by you having it now, I don't think that means you operate in it. I think that means now you can see when 7 of Swords might be happening. Perhaps if you had a rose-colored lens or naivete that did not allow you to trust what it was that you were seeing in terms of 7 of Swords patterns, you have it now. There's got to be a freedom. There needs to be a mental liberation. The reason why Spirit's not showing me emotion is because this isn't about your emotion. This is actually about your mind. But the thing is, you're destined for some highly elevated wish fulfillment, high vibrational. This is not a wish fulfillment like you wrote a little manifestation down in your journal on a new moon and you hope it comes true. This is like what your soul wants for you. So it may be incomprehensible, this Four of Wands. You might be asking for the rose on your manifestation journal when your soul is like, cool, but that one rose is like a piece of decor in this multi-layered, multi-year manifestation experience that your soul has in store for you. So I think the moral of the story is, can you allow your higher self from the future pull you forward, because there's so much in store, and like just trust that you're bringing the Seven of Swords awareness with you into the future too. You don't have to be scared. I think that's the message. I think that's the message. Anything else with Pisces? Smash that love button, baby, baby. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. This is a new build. This is a new investment. And there's going to be some, see the ballerina in her crown? Ballerina on your mind is like, you're going to be able to focus so much more of your energy, your learning, your mind space towards joy, fulfillment, extracurricular activities, hobbies, versus so much stress on attempting to manage chaos. Yes, lovers. Okay. It is free will choice, but this is this feels like a choice that's going to dissolve so much of the brain space that was being used to manage whatever the F this was. The mind is going to be able to shift from that to fear of being betrayed, taken advantage of, lied to, whatever, to wow, all this mind space is now being moved and used for fulfillment, for creation, for art, for entertainment. This is moving from survival to thriving in a way that is highly guided by your future self. So there is an element of, are you willing to surrender to where they are pulling you? Because it is better. And it is more than what you want and more than what you can imagine. Though it does feel like you have a sense of a piece or two pieces. This really feels like you wrote down two things on a manifestation list, and your higher self is like, that's so cute. I'm so glad you want those two things. But those two things are literally like decorations compared to this vast manifestation, wish fulfillment, long-term investment, return on investment, fully immersed experience that they have in store for you. Yeah, claim that, Pisces. I love this. High Priestesses in our Patreon community. Tonight we have our High Priestess Roundtable Tarot Reading event, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. The link to join the Zoom is already posted in the Patreon. I'll see you there. If you want to join, begin practicing reading tarot with us, begin exploring tarot cards, or expand your tarot reading journey, please register at the first link in the pinned comment below. We would love to have you. Pisces, hold my hands. Take a gentle inhale through the nose and a soft release out through the mouth. Stilling the mind. And affirm this, Pisces. I trust where my higher self is leading me, baby. Keep me posted on what this is, Pisces. Love you.